it. Oh.
Mr. Quince, you're up.
Hello there. I am back again. Now, this is the second time I've streamed today. This is another test stream. I'm doing this because this is when my PC crashes the most, is when I'm streaming, and you know I'm having trouble figuring this stuff out. So this feels like the easiest way of trying to work this out. So I streamed a little while ago, and the PC switched off and back on again. We're back, and I don't hold much hope, but I've moved the game over onto my C drive, which is an SSD, because I've tested every single part of my PC apart from the drives. I've never heard of this. I've never heard of a drive being responsible for crashing a whole PC, but you know, at this point you've got to try everything.
It
So
was the wife's suggestion.
was it the wife's suggestion? Did
Well,
you
I
suggest
said,
this?
why aren't you special drives? And you said to do it because, and then you started thinking.
Well, there was an option to test drives,
Gotta make a stand.
wasn't there? No, I've never known. I've never heard of a drive being responsible for crashing the PC before. I mean, literally, physically turning the PC off and on again. Never. But I mean, I suppose most games, well, yeah, all modern games, they're not meant to be played on old school HD hard drives, are they? So it could be a problem, but I've never had a PC crash. Usually it would just like freeze, and you know, you go back to your desktop. I'm sure somebody's going to have some words of wisdom at some point about what the problem is, but I mean, let me just tell you, I have benchmarked everything. I mean, I put the Heaven benchmark on earlier for my, because I was starting to get convinced that it's my graphics card that was the problem, and that thing run for half an hour while I was doing lunch. We were hitting, it was on like 65 temperature wise, 75 degrees we got to 200 frames, and I stressed it stressed it out, and it never went off, not once. I've done the same thing with testing the whole lot together using what program is it? What is the program called? Let me just have a quick look at my desktop a minute. If it doesn't crash, that is. I've actually got it open at the moment. System Stability Test. I didn't even know I had it open. I forgot I had that open. Which stress tests your CPU, FPU, cache, system memory. I don't actually know what the FPU and the cache is. I'm not a massive techie guy. And the GPU, all of it at the same time. I've actually got it running. It's not stress testing anything at the moment, but it's open. I'll actually turn it off for a minute. And I've had, just turn that off a minute. I had Core Temp open. What is it that I've been using? Afterburner. MSI Afterburner. I've had that on, so you get the overlay in games and stuff telling you what's going on, and I think it's bloody fine. it's saying that nothing's overheating. So now I'm like, is it the power supply? I mean, the only thing I've done, as everyone knows who watches my stream, is I've flashed the BIOS on my motherboard. So I'm like, well, it's either the motherboard or the power supply. But I've had power supplies go before, and they don't usually do that. In my experience, they die, and power supplies die proper good. You know it's a power supply. You know, it'll go on and off, on and off. Not like... It doesn't... Well, I suppose it draws power. I mean, it would go off if it was drawing too much power. But I'm not. Obviously I've tested the wattage before, added stuff to this build, and the calculations are well under 650. So it shouldn't be the power supply. Like I said, if the power supply goes, it goes proper good. So in my mind, I was going to buy a new motherboard, and I didn't want to do that. I still don't want to do that because my motherboard was a pain in the ass when I was trying to put the Ryzen 9 on it. Is this the right way? That was a bit framey, wasn't it?